with the war against Hamas intensifying, there are various reports of heinous war crimes being committed by the terrorists since the attack on October 7th. These actions are being effectively flaunted by the social media handles of Hamas and have now gone viral over the internet. Let's first listen into this bite of a terrorist captured by the IDF, who has confessed to the horrific treatment of the women and children.
السلام عليكم. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. كيف حالك؟ تمام الحمد لله. شو الأخبار؟ الحمد لله ملك. تمام. أنت شو اسمك؟ محمد ناهض أحمد العرشة. قديش عمرك؟ 21 22. مواليد 2002. وين؟ وين؟ رفح. رفح؟ تمام. صليت على اليوم؟ لا صليت ولا لا؟ صليت الحمد لله. بدك نقرأ الفاتحة؟ نقرأ الفاتحة. تفضل. نقول اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم. وشيوخ وإسلام ورجال وأطفال وصغير وكبير ومرض وصبي. صبي؟ شو عملوا فيهم؟ قتلوهم. ايش ممنوع؟ حسب الدين ممنوع هذا كله اللي بيصير. الخطف والزنا والهذا كله ممنوع. كيف بيعملوا هيك؟ كيف صار عروس؟ قطع عروسها. مين؟ تاع حماس. بعد ما قتلوا الناس قطع عروسهم جنبهم.
All right, shocking testimony there of what all has been inflicted upon the Israelis by the Hamas. Let me quickly now, in fact, before we bring in some guests joining us, show you some more details about these shockers that, of course, are continuously being reported from the region. So this is now a video that you can see on your screens. This is a video released by the Hamas, which shows children. These children are being used as human shields by the terrorists. These are the horrific atrocities being inflicted by the Hamas on the people of Israel, on innocent civilians, on women, on children, as you can see through videos like this one. This shows children whom have been abducted by the Hamas. You can see them in these pictures. They're being used as, of course, human shields by the terrorists. Some of them are so small. As you can see, the babies were abducted on the day of the Hamas's attack. So these are all those who were held hostage, remember, on that first day itself. And now the terrorists are using them to protect themselves. This is clearly breaking all rules of any sort of human rights, and which is why, of course, Israel now is saying that no sort of morality should be preached to them, particularly vis-a-vis individuals like this, who, of course, are carrying out horrific atrocities, horrific terror that they are inflicting upon women, upon babies, and upon civilians in Israel. Let me quickly bring in at this point Ambassador Bhashwati Mukherjee, former diplomat, on the broadcast at this point. Ambassador Mukherjee, really shocking details. What do you make of this, this shocking video which shows that children are being used as human shields? Also, a testimony has emerged that has on record a Hamas operative, a Hamas terrorist, telling the IDF what all they've been doing on women, on children, and on innocents.
Well, they're coming from India, as you know. Many were not even aware of the horrors of the Holocaust till those of us who've traveled, like I have, and visited concentration camps, understood what was done to the Jewish people in these horrific incidents in World War II. Now you would think that the Jewish people have got their homeland, and definitely we would prefer a solution where everyone can live in peace and harmony and recognize Israel's right to exist. But I never imagined at this day and age that such horrific crimes against women and children, amounting to war crimes, amounting to a kind of genocide, could be perpetrated on innocent civilians who did not even know what had hit them until they were subjected to this inhuman torture and punishment. I think that for such people, they should be given a proper war crimes trial, like it was done in Nuremberg, The International Criminal Court in Netherlands, where I was ambassador, has no death penalty. And I know that many in the West are not in favor of death penalty. I am also not in favor of death penalty. But I think that for such people, the death penalty should be brought back, because it is not possible to accept that such people can be called human. How can any human being do this to another human being, and that too to a child or to a woman? So it is also very unfortunate, I have to add, Uday, that so many centuries down in history, why are women and children always used as weapons of war? Then nothing has changed from biblical times till today. That even today, women and children are used as weapons of war. They are used as hostages, etc., etc. There is no words to describe my utter revulsion of feeling. I can understand some Arabic, having been posted in Egypt, and I think it is absolutely revolting. It's going to haunt me for days to even remember. And I extend my heartfelt sympathy and condolences to the people of Israel for having gone through this horrific experience, and to extend to them India's full support and the support of the people of India at their moment of suffering and grief. Uday.
Yes, let me also, in fact, quickly just bring our viewers up to speed with some more horrific videos which have emerged, stories of pain, stories of suffering, and stories, of course, of atrocity, which are continuously emerging from the region. So let's show you now another video. Let's show you another video which has been released. Remember, this also was released on the first day when that audacious attack took place by the Hamas. So there is a man who, of course, is carrying a woman who has been abducted, who has been tortured, almost dead. Some say she's dead, not quite sure, of course, in that video. And a woman is keeping his foot, his leg on the semi-naked body of that woman there, who reportedly was abducted from a music festival which was happening, remember, very close to the Gaza border where this attack took place. Many girls, many women were abducted from that music festival. The man keeps his leg over the mangled body of that woman who's been abducted. The men are continuously in this video, they have rifles on them and they are chanting Allahu Akbar in that video. So clearly a lot of religious shouting, sloganeering happening. One of the man also spits on the woman as well. So he spits as well on the woman as well. Remember, this is a woman who, of course, was abducted and tortured by the men reportedly from that music festival. Let's show you another video which has emerged. Now, this is another woman who was abducted from that same music festival which I've been talking about. She's screaming for a friend to help her. A friend, a male compatriot, of course, have restrained her friend from helping her. They've caught hold of her friend and she's being abducted. She's being taken away on a motorbike, as you can see there. They drive off with that woman, reportedly who's called Noah. They drive off with her on a bike. She was next, of course, spotted later in captivity, abducted. She was abducted from the Reem Music Festival, which was happening, as I said, in a desert, not too far away from that Gaza border. She was screaming for her friend, continues to help her, really desperate, in despair. The friends, though the friend was restrained by Hamas terrorists, who you can see pictured on the other side of that video, and the terrorists then drive off with her on a bike. She was then, of course, as we said, next spotted as she was held captive in Gaza. This was another video that, of course, emerged later of her in captivity with her hands tied behind her back, etc. In fact, we have now another special guest joining us at this point. We have also with us at this point Roni Eshel. She is a family member of Roni. Roni is a girl who, of course, has been abducted, feared to be kidnapped on the day of this attack. Roni Eshel, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out and speaking with us. Our heart, of course, goes out to you as it does to the other families of the stories that we are hearing. Roni, what can you tell us about Roni? How are you related to her? And what news of her whereabouts?
Roni, she's my nephew. She's a soldier in a military base, Nahal Oz. It's very close to the border, Gaza border, and the last time we had contact with her was at 9:30, Saturday 9:30 in the morning. She texted a message to her mom, Sharon, Mom, I'm okay. I can't talk right now. I love you, with 4 hearts, and we'll talk later. And that was the last time we spoke with her. We know that between 11 to 12, the base was completely they lost contact with the base completely. That's all we know. We know they burned the place where all the girls, there were 23 girls over there. They hide in a bunker. They throw smoke so they can go. They run outside without any able to breathe over there. They killed some of them. Some of them succeed to escape, and they were killed outside with cold blood. And our Roni has been kidnapped.
Yes. Is that a picture of Roni that you have with you?
Yeah, this is Roni. Actually, I'm in her room right now.
Oh my God, I can just imagine how emotional it is for you to be in her room right now. She was serving in the IDF, is that correct? She was posted at that very camp. She was serving in the military, is that correct? How long had she been with the IDF?
She was serving about a year and a half almost, and then she loved what she was doing over there, and she was very proud to be a soldier. And what Hamas did over there to innocent people, bodies of children found with knives in the head. They rape girls, little girls. They tied children, and in front of their parents, they sit down and eat, those terrorists. And after that, they shot families. All families were murdered. They burned bunkers of people who tried to escape from the missiles. They found like windows, small windows in the bunker, and they took the guns and they just killed people inside while they were trying to escape. You saw all the videos now. These are ISIS. Hamas is ISIS. They're not human being. They're not human being.
Yes.
And we need all the kidnapped, all the people who are Hamas holding to come back home.
That's the the fear that you feel, that she is still kidnapped, she's still a hostage with them. You'd like her, of course, to be released as soon as possible. Have you been in touch with the Israeli government or the Israeli military? Has the family been in touch with them?
Yes, we're doing all the efforts. We have all the connections to receive a sign or something, but it's a big chaos here in Israel, and 1,300 people found themselves dead, murdered in cold blood until now. And while I'm talking with you, my family is in the center of Israel. I'm heading north now in their house, and missiles are falling all the time on our houses. The situation is very difficult right now in Israel. No one goes to work, and people are afraid go out, and it's I have no words to say how scared everyone is here.
And it has been cruel. It has been cruel, the kinds of atrocities that they've inflicted on women and children, from children being used as human shields to others who have been killed in barbaric manners, to women who have been kidnapped, tortured, spat upon. Really been horrific, isn't it?
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's not human being. They're animals. Animals. Burn people alive. Use them as like they were, nothing. And it's so difficult for us, for the family. We don't know where she is. We don't know what she's doing, what they're doing to her. If anyone can help us, bring her home. We're so worried.
Yes, let me also go back to Bhashpati Mukherjee, who's still with us. Ambassador Mukherjee, really a heart goes out, doesn't it, to Edith and to Roni's family and to the others, who have had to face this kind of atrocities. This has really breached any sort of level of decency, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And Edith, your niece Roni looks very young. She should be actually 19 years old.
How old would she be, Edith? How old? Ambassador Mukherjee, just let me ask how old she would be, Edith, at this point. How old was she?
18 years old.
Beg your pardon?
Only 19 years old.
19, my God. Ambassador
At the
Mukherjee.
age of 19, Uday, a young girl is supposed to be looking at her future. She's supposed to be thinking about happy things. I don't even want to imagine. I hope she is safe with the kidnappers. But for such a thing to happen to a young 19-year-old beautiful girl whose photograph I'm seeing on television really breaks my heart, and breaks my heart to think of all the other Israeli families suffering in this manner. It is important to remember that when the human being is alienated from basic human compassion, love, affection for each other, then that person cannot be called human anymore. It has to be, is behaving worse than an animal in my perspective, And so I would agree that these people who did these acts, they were like the IS. I remember the IS used to have a man who was apparently a British white guy, and he used to execute hostages in public. I believe they caught him and killed him later. And I used to always think, what kind of inhuman behavior, what kind of human being can do this to another human being? And now when I see and hear these stories, including of this young and beautiful 19-year-old girl, then I think that this is the same level of dehumanization that has occurred, which is extremely dangerous, not just to Israel, but it is dangerous to international peace and security. If people can get dehumanized, then they can commit any crime and they are not affected by it, because they think that the enemy is not human. In other words, they think they are human, and the person whom they are torturing and killing is not a human being. So this is so dangerous, and it is so alien, Uday, to our philosophy in India, where we say that the world is one family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam was Prime Minister Modi's motto for the G20 summit. This is the absolute antithesis of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, where the world is one family. Here the world is not one family. The world is divided, and there's one part of the world that thinks that the other part is not human. Because how can you treat a human being? You can't even treat an animal like this. Even for animal slaughter, there are laws laid out. How can you treat a human being like this? So I have to say that I am extremely disturbed and moved by this presentation of Edith. And I hope and pray, like her, that she will find her niece, that her niece will be normal, that her niece will be able to go back to a normal life after this terrible trauma, and to reassure her again that as far as India is concerned, we are always there for Israel and we will support Israel to the full. There.
Yes, let me in fact also now put out some more disturbing visuals coming in. These are photos released by the Israeli authorities of charred bodies of small children. This is the extent of the violence that has been committed by Hamas terrorists. Just take a look at these pictures. They are chilling, to say the least. I would warn our viewers that these are disturbing images and discretion is advised. Really, Ambassador Mukherjee, what is to be said now? You know, words fail me as we put out these disturbing visuals of bodies of children, charred remains of those who have lost their lives.
The Israeli army has to go after them and bring them back, and justice has to be given. Otherwise, the souls of those tortured and killed can never attain salvation. They have to be brought back. I don't want civilians to be killed on any side, but those who have perpetrated these massacres, they have to be brought back, brought to justice. That there is no other solution, because otherwise, Uday, the sentiments of the families of those who have been tortured and executed will continue to simmer. The only way to bring the temperature down is to catch those who have perpetrated these massacres and to give them summary and arbitrary punishment. In my opinion, as I said, I am not in favor of death penalty. I don't know if Israel has death penalty. India has death penalty for rarest of the rare. I would say that this is a crime for which only death penalty is appropriate. No other penalty, death penalty. That's it.
Let's leave it at that. Ambassador Mukherjee, thank you for joining us with your perspective on that story. Thanks also to Idit Eshel, who joined us earlier. And Idit, we certainly pray that Roni will be reunited with her family very, very soon.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.